Welcome to Happily Ever Aftermath, the podcast that explores the movies that influenced how we view love and romantic relationships. Yes, there will be spoilers. I'm your host, Diana Rojek-Sconard. Yeah, why are you here? Oh wait, I remember. Intense physical attraction to me. We're talking about Dirty Work from 1998, and the wonderful, amazing Erin Barry is here with me to talk about it. Hi!
Hi!
How's it going?
It is going.
I mean, I was going to say, we threatened to do this episode. That sounds way too harsh. We alluded to possibly doing this episode, so now we're doing it.
Hooray!
And I'm wondering if it's going to be like a good 80% of us just reciting lines back to each other and doing Norm MacDonald impressions.
Yes, that was my expectation for this.
Yeah. So this movie, Dirty Work... Yeah, that's as far as I'm going. I can't hurt myself this whole time. So a quick overview for those who do not know this diamond in the rough from 1998. Dirty Work. Friends Sam, Artie Lange, and Mitch, Norm MacDonald, need $50,000 to pay for Sam's dad's heart surgery. When they're fired for getting revenge on their abusive theater-owning boss, they have a great money-making idea, a revenge-for-hire business. And, as sad as it is, it's just like when Norm MacDonald passed away, I'm like, oh, we should do this movie. And then time passed, and then Bob Saget died, who directed this movie. I'm like, oh, I hurt now.
Yeah. I definitely had that going into it because it's been a number of years since I've watched it. And, so I put it on, and I see Bob Saget's name flash, and I went, oh. Yeah. And then you see Norm MacDonald, I'm like, oh. And then you see Chris Farley, I'm like, God damn it.
Dude, and I was like, Gary Coleman, oh.
Oh, yeah.
So Ryan watched this with me last night, and I was pleased, because I thought this would be one of those things where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to watch this, it's going to be cool, but this is a movie where you want to watch it with somebody else so you can enjoy the laughs together.
Yeah.
But
totally.
Ryan was also kind enough to point out, this was a product of his time, wasn't it? And I'm like, and yes. How?
Yes, very much. I was thinking about that as I was watching. I'm like, they wouldn't make a movie like this. They would not make a movie like this now.
No. I mean, well, they would probably try, but it would come off differently. And they would probably eliminate about, most of the dialogue because so offensive in so many ways. So if you've never seen this movie before, understand that approximately 15 to 16-year-old Diana lived and breathed this movie.
Yes. Same. I remember actually getting a recorder and then walking around high school going, note to self.
Oh my God.
And I was going to go look for the recorder later to see if I could find it because I'm pretty sure I still have it somewhere amongst my things and listen back to, it's 15, 16-year-old Erin going, note to self. I have no idea what I'd be noting to self in, high school, but,
Honestly, I did the same thing because when you get a little microset recorder, it's like you're like the coolest person in the world, in my world. My mom was actually studying psychology, so she had to use hers a lot. And then I got to borrow it. And I'm like, note to self. And then I would just say lines from the movie.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say it. Note to self. Sex with blow-up doll, not as good as advertised. I think that was my favorite.
Yeah.
It's a little bit past that one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So, besides note to selves, what else about this movie? So anyone who went back and listened to the Tommy Boy episode, obviously, we have Saturday Night Live just, in our veins. But
baked into our bones.
What else happened in that time frame? You're watching Dirty Work. Actually, when was the first time you watched Dirty Work?
I was trying to think about that, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I would have watched this with Diana. I'm like positive. I'm just trying to remember when we watched it.
I was really thinking about it. Like, did we go to the theater to watch this? And I didn't have enough energy. I probably had enough time, but not enough energy to find my movie stubs and just look to see that. Because I want to say we had a Brendan Theater Dirty Work stub somewhere, but I can't.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I can't guarantee it though, but
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, exactly. I would not be surprised.
It fits it. It fits the model for that time.
Oh man, I'm trying also to think that if we had seen it in the theater, I love this. So allegedly we saw this in the theater, but how good were our memories where we were quoting it, but were we really quoting it, or were we just quoting the memories of watching it, and then we solidified it when we got it on VHS? I did have it on VHS.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I might have at one point. I have lost so many movies and soundtracks over the years. I don't know where they went.
Aw.
But just over time, I had Tommy Boy on VHS, and I know I had Austin Powers on VHS. I'm sure I probably would have had Dirty Work on VHS as well.
Right.
But it's just
right.
they've been lost to time.
Austin Powers, once again, a product of its time, making fun of
totally.
an earlier product of its time.
Right.
If I remember correctly, you purchased this for this episode.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised I did not have it in my movie collection, because I have a ton of other stuff that's very similar. And so we had to scour through and look, and I realized I didn't have it. So I ended up going out and just buying a copy, because I'm like, I should have this in my collection. So
Right. I was shocked because I'm like, maybe I should buy this. All honesty, this is a $4 bargain bin at Best Buy movie. And
Yeah.
when I looked it up, I'm like, $20?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know how much I paid for it. I was probably somewhere around that. I'm like, I'll get it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why. I don't think they upped the quality for the Blu-ray. They're looking, and they're like, we want to put Dirty Work on Blu-ray. Let's make sure we convert the quality. For all the people dying to see Dirty Work on Blu-ray, the raging fans. We must see Dirty Work on Blu-ray.
Oh my God, the scale of the gills on the fish. I can see them so clearly.
Right? Oh my God, that moment in the film. It was one of those funny things where I'm like, I remember all these scenes, but I don't remember. And so as it was leading up to that, I remember hitting Jason, being like, it's a fish scene. I love that. They're just holding the fish, and you could just, at first they're laughing and thinking this is great, until they hear all the things going on behind the door, and you could just slowly see their soul dying as they just keep holding the two fish. That was just perfect.
The little flourishes of Norm humor, I think, is amazing. Is that, this bit is still going. And if you look up Norm MacDonald bits at on late night shows, I'm like, he's still going.
Yeah.
He is running through it. I think obviously people can invent things in different ways at different times, but the Family Guy bit where the shin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
where it goes so long that it becomes funny again.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think I want to say that Norm does that, but no, he's funny through and through, and you have to be on board.
Yeah. It's a really interesting thing. So when you were like, we should do Dirty Work, and I was like, yes. I'm like, then I kind of immersed myself back into Norm again.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this really interesting perspective on his comedy. And the way that they kind of broke it down was that he did these long setups that you knew were complete bullshit.
Yeah.
They weren't real stories, but he tried to pretend like they were real stories from his childhood or whatever. And he went on for minutes, right? Most comedians don't set jokes up for 4 or 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But the punchline was always this. It wasn't this here's the apex of the joke. It was this almost letdown.
Yeah.
He built you up for 4 minutes just to let you down with a silly, goofy dad pun.
Right.
And it was just but there was such intelligence behind that setup. And nobody else, I don't think anybody else could do it the same way or has done it the same way.
Sure.
And has been as successful at it. And that's the interesting thing behind Norm. And I think probably he's not for everybody because of that. You have to understand this guy's freaking brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And he's setting these jokes up to make him look like a dumbass, right? He's telling a story, you're supposed to believe that it's him, but you know that it's not a story that's about him. But anyway, so yeah, 100%. You either love his comedy or you hate it. I don't think there's anybody in between that's I could watch a Norm MacDonald, comedy skit.
No,
no.
you come with emotion either way.
Yeah.
It just I can't even. You did a pretty good job of laying it out, but you're right. There is no real way of explaining his comedy to people, and it takes effort sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just there were some ones where I found it, I'm just like, no, I'm on board with Norm, but I'm not on board with this. But that's okay. Another one will come along, because regular comedians, not all of them are total slam dunks. I mean, even your favorites, it's just one of those situations where either way.
Yeah, 100%. And it's interesting too, because he breaks a lot of the traditional stuff, like you're not supposed to laugh at or explain your joke, and he does that.
Oh, yes.
Almost all the time.
Yeah,
He'll explain his joke, and it just makes it that much funnier.
Oh my God. One of the things, okay, so I should also set a little bit more background for my own experience. I did record off of Comedy Central a long time ago, just Norm MacDonald stand-up. And so little bits of that, I mean, there are some things that will just appear. So like, I was a big Adam Carolla fan at a different time frame, so like my mid-20s. And watching his movie and see entire bits in his movie would be interesting. Whereas with Norm, it wasn't his whole bits, it was just kind of nods to them. Like just the part where one of his earlier, like, I've gotten revenge, instances when he was a child, like, like the thing with the Doberman. And I'm like, oh my God, Dobermans! He's only...
The Dobermans, yes.
He's only referencing a Doberman, and I'm just like, oh God! And then this whole bit will just, flash into my head.
Yeah, exactly. It was so funny, too, because during that scene when I had forgotten about the Doberman, and the Doberman runs across the screen or whatever, and I look at Jason, and I'm like, I used to be somebody! The Doberman.
The Doberman, exactly. And then another version, so that was my experience rewatching this for the podcast, because I'm like, it's like, boom, Doberman, all of a sudden a flush of memories. Better Than Ezra on the soundtrack. And I was thinking of all the times, first of all, I would hear that song good everywhere. And I loved it, and I could never find it. And it was this movie that helped me realize who did it, and I was able to finally get it. And I was very happy about that. So thank you, Norm MacDonald, for that part. The other part of that was he would do jokes on Weekend Update about Better Than Ezra that I would remember, like the, the Billboard 100 has, listed its top 100, oh God, I'm not Norm MacDonald, I can't do this. But it's just like in the number 2 spot, Better Than Ezra. And the number 1 spot, not Ezra.
Not Ezra, yeah.
Oh, I totally botched it, but it doesn't matter because I did the better than. But the point is number 2, number 1, Better Than Ezra. Number 1. Shit, I'm still doing it wrong. I'm tired.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, but like I said, nobody can do Norm jokes but Norm.
No.
All we can do is try to do the best to repeat them, but they never, because you have to be Norm.
You have to be Norm.
Yeah.
You also have to have the cue cards in front of you so you can read it correctly.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I'm going to leave all of that in. I'll be an idiot. I don't care.
That's cool. I dig it.
Tell me more. You're screaming, I used to be somebody when rewatching it.
I used to be
what
somebody.
Else?
Yeah.
What?
The Doberman.
The Doberman.
You got a buck? You got a buck for the Doberman? It's so funny because I don't even remember all the lead up for that joke in his stand up.
Yeah.
I just remember those phrases, and I remember us just like yelling them at each other occasionally.
Yeah.
For no reason at all. I'll even do that just kind of around the house. I'll go up to Jason. You got a buck?
I don't know how my dad felt about it, but I would constantly do his thing about serial killers or the people who said they kill their family because the devil made them do it. Can you imagine just like, I killed my family because the devil did it. And then the devil pulls off its mask. It's me, Bob. It's so stupid.
It is. Well, that's the brilliance of his stuff is like, I would have loved to actually go and sit in, enjoy his stand-up live.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Sit amongst other fans and non-fans and get the actual the full reaction from the audience, because it's one of those things. It's just like, honestly, I'm trying to think of like when I was introduced to his. It must have been through Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it has to be.
It must have been, yeah. And then listening to his comedy and and then Dirty Work and everything else.
Billy Madison.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like, I love just like the SNL connections in this movie, and then like the tangential ones too. Like, so Christopher McDonald, the bad guy. I mean,
he's such a good bad guy.
He's great. I think he's great as the bad guy. But the funny thing is like, I forgot John Goodman just appears.
Right? And I forgot Chevy Chase was the doctor.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did I forget that?
I don't know.
And I'm like, Chevy Chase. He's so funny. He's kind of an asshole. But you know what? He's funny.
Just his facial expressions, his timing. This is all that they're so good at.
Yeah, it's so true.
I mean,
it's so true.
And as an adult on rewatch, I talked to Ryan about this for 5 minutes afterwards, but it's just like, so wait, let me see if I can get this straight. You voted on the fight in Rocky and you bet against Rocky? And I'm like, okay, as a child, that's hilarious because why would you ever bet against the guy who is the hero of this movie? And then looking back, I'm like, oh, that the first Rocky and then like the third Rocky, he loses all the time.
He loses. Yeah, I'm like, well, of course you'd bet against him. I mean, if you're watching the third movie and the first movie he loses, like, you're kind of 50-50 there, you know? So
hindsight is 20/20, my friend, just so casually.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. How often did you scream Rolling Stone Street Fightin' Man G7?
I don't know if I've ever screamed that.
I did a few times.
I'm getting a sense that you did.
A little bit, just checking. I love this. See, now our experiences are diverging, and I don't like this anymore. New topic.
Oh, no. New topic.
But isn't that great, though? Just,
It is.
Oh, yeah. This is happening exactly as I thought. My God, I've never seen so many dead hookers in my life.
Yeah.
Lord knows I have.
And Lord knows I have. Yeah, that got a good squeaky laugh out of Jason. Like, yeah. Oh. Or you didn't count on my loyal army of prostitutes, did you?
Why? Why is this? It's so wrong. Can't help it. Oh, you were now listening to 15-year-old Diana having a good time reminiscing, but that's okay. Do you consider this relationship that's in this movie, so him and Mildred? Okay, no, her name is not Mildred.
Mildred, yeah. Mildred.
I guess you forgot my name. It's Kathy.
No, you never told me, Subi, so I figured I'd guess.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I hate this because I did not think too much of Kathy when I was younger, and also not so much now either. She is the catalyst for most of this. It's like a combination of the fact that they need to get money for the heart surgery, and also and for the record, the money for the heart surgery is just that their surgeon needs it to pay off bookies, and that's the only way to get them up to the top of the transplant list. But Kathy, I mean, like they're able to do the whole, going up against Christopher McDonald's character because of Kathy. I mean, it started off as her boss being an asshole and then getting on there. But I do love Mitch and how clever he is. He just doesn't really have like the motivation to be creative and clever unless it's like really like up against him.
He's creative and clever when he's exacting revenge. That's when he's creative and clever. He's creative and clever no other time. I think to your point, he just doesn't have the drive.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It takes life and death and or him getting a relationship to kind of get into that. But I mean, did Kathy make any impression on you whatsoever then or now?
No, it didn't then. It doesn't now. She's just she's definitely a plot driver. If anything else, she doesn't really have much of a personality. All we know is that she's an accountant. Yeah. And that her name's not Mildred. Yeah. And she's got a grandma that's not a prostitute.
Right.
So.
Hey, are those prostitutes? I mean, who are those girls?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. One more. No. I gotta go and lift weights. What?
Yeah.
it's his cadence. I can't get over
Yeah.
the cadence, and it's just it just kind of triggers this desire to just be like, all right, let's practice. Oh my god. Oh, okay. And now the other one that I told Ryan, I think this is my favorite line the whole time. You know, it's like the guy who first thought about delivering pizzas for the first time, or the guy who invented crack.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Aww.
I'm gonna ask you to take over for a minute. I'm just gonna like fan my face because I'm laughing so hard.
You're gonna fan your face. It's funny. Like some of the more quotable things in the movie, I had always gotten one of the quotes completely wrong, and I don't know why. It's like you were mentioning earlier. It's like, yeah, you know, you watch it and then you quote it, but you're probably quoting it wrong. I just kept quoting it wrong, which is the whole. I love it because Sam, his best friend / actually half brother, and him are going out and they're trying to figure out ways to make money, and they end up going and taste testing brownies, which should be completely fine. And, you know, they're listing the possible side effects, you know, hallucination and itching and all this stuff. And Sam's like, I think maybe I feel an itch. No, it's nothing. And then it pans to Norm and he's like hallucinating and shaking and his skin's all blotchy and red and he's sweating profusely, and he turns and he looks over at Sam and, you know, and then there's, what's his name? Gary Coleman. Coleman.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always want to call him Gary Coleman.
Because why not?
There's Gary Coleman, you know, and he's just like, hey, what's up? And he turns, and Adam Sandler's dressed as the devil, and he's got this suckling pig on a spigot, and he's got like a knife and a fork in his hand, and he's, you know, doing his own Adam Sandler thing. And the quote is, we eat the pig and then together we burn. And I don't know why I always screwed that quote up. I'm like, first we eat the pig and then we burn, which isn't totally different, but it is one of those really funny things. As I was watching the movie, I'm like, I've been saying that wrong the whole time. Not like anybody's grading on me, like God's up there going, she's been quoting that goddamn line wrong the whole time. I'm gonna deduct points for that one.
Well, I don't know. You were friends with me for a long time, and I was grading everybody because I'm a weird perfectionist. Okay. The funny thing is, I don't remember you ever quoting it wrong. So, okay.
Yay! You hear that, God?
I'm keeping tallies for you. You're good.
Yeah.
No, that totally happens. Like, and the whole thing about like, it's not like no one's keeping points. Ryan had to correct me that something that I've been getting wrong from a Simpsons quote all the time when Marge and Lisa are going away, and she's like, you know, oh, okay, you know, the dryer's been making this funny noise, and she's listing all these things, and Homer's like, yeah, you know, oh, and the cat's been doing this, yeah, cat in the dryer, got it. And the whole time it's been cat in the furnace. I know, and I'm like, no, it's not even like where the cat's going so much. It's just like, I genuinely thought it was put cat in the dryer.
Makes it's less violent that way. I mean, it's still bad. You don't want a cat in the dryer.
No, not at all. But and then I tried to justify it by saying like, oh, I think it's from that other quote I remembered when Marge was flying, and she's like, I forgot to clean the lint basket in the dryer. If someone were to break in and do laundry, I could start a fire. Oh man, just this movie is quotable in ways that make no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to say, anybody listening to this who's never seen the movie is going to be like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
And I'm
this
sorry.
Doesn't sound funny at all. Yeah. And it's like, it's a Norm thing. You got to see the setup for it. And it's so funny, too, because as I was watching, because it is very dated, 1998, so this is like more than 20 years old, which is like crazy.
No, it's 10 years old. The end.
It's 10.
10.
The 90s was 10 years ago.
Thank you.
Right? But I was watching, and I'm like, every scene is a setup for a Norm joke.
Yeah.
That every scene is. As I was watching it, I just kind of came to this slow realization that it is. It's just a Norm joke, one scene after the other, and they've sprinkled some story in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is kind of like other Saturday Night Live type related films. But this one is extra. I feel like it literally is just a setup every single time. Whereas, like, I watch like Tommy Boy and stuff like that. I don't feel that way.
No,
it does feel like there is some story there, and there's some more substance. Exactly, that's probably the better word for it. But
And the thing is, though, that's an excellent observation, because for some reason I just, the plot is thin, but the idea is really good, opening up a revenge for hire business.
Yeah, 100%.
But it just occurred to me, we did Back to School not too long ago, and that movie was just straight up opportunities for Rodney Dangerfield to just go and do his thing, And we did When Harry Met Sally, and I remember at the time, it is a good movie. I was just going through I don't want to watch When Harry Met Sally when we recorded the episode. So the whole time I'm just thinking I don't want just to hear Billy Crystal do his thing. It's like, hey, random observation in the script, and then he just goes off for a minute doing his Billy Crystal thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and this one just tickles me in so many damn ways.
Yeah, I think it works. I think probably most people wouldn't watch this unless they are a Norm MacDonald fan. Yep. And if you're not, I'm sorry, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to have a good time. Yeah. But I think for us that do, that's all we really expect from Norm. We don't expect him to be. He's not a great actor at all. No. I think that's why there's not a lot of character development or anything like that. It's pretty surface level, right? Mm-hmm. The whole way through, and I think that's why it's okay that everything's just a setup. Yeah. For Norm MacDonald humor.
Oh, sure.
And everybody's there just to support those jokes,
Right. And the thing is, though, for the most part, so unfortunately, we get very deep and analytical when it comes to the podcast. But if we look at the relationship with Kathy, which is so surface level, it's the beginnings of dating. And what helped is that as a young person, I'm just well, I haven't been dating, so this is how it works, right? You find someone, you make them laugh, you crack a joke, you see them again, you try to get in their good graces for one way or another while still trying to do your own things,
like revenge for hire work. That's a normal thing, right?
I can't do that. I would never stop panicking.
No, yeah, same.
Oh, the consequences of everything. Oh no, can't do it. But again, it's as funny as it sounds, this is a movie for a certain type of humor, and if you aren't a fan of Norm, it also works for just juvenile humor, not children, but older, just kind of dumb.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the scene where, Sam's peeing off the side of the building, but you don't know it because they're just having a conversation, and they get the stars in the background, and they're being kind of deep. And you see a shooting star, and then eventually you hear, "Oh, are you peeing off the side of the building?" And he's just shakes himself and zips up. And then you got the guy, they continue their conversation. You got the guy that, runs up to the top of the roof where they're at, and he's just absolutely soaking with urine. It's just so if you like pee-pee jokes, well, there you go.
I was reading trivia, and apparently this was supposed to be a hard rated R comedy. And
oh, really?
And that's why Chevy Chase signed on. He's like he loved all of it, and he's just fight for this. Do not let them go PG-13. And they did, and I don't know why it's still good, for me. I wonder if it was a hard R, I would have just been turned off by it entirely.
I'd be kind of curious to see what the R-rated version is. I mean, you've got dead hookers in trunks. Yeah. What is the hard R version? He says the F word?
Have you noticed? It was actually just pointed out to me recently, but have you noticed when he's... okay, so... Yes, I'm a little ashamed, but I'm still going to describe. So they go to jail. It's actually just kind of a...
Yeah.
It's just a, holding cell type of thing with a bunch of people.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
And yes, sure enough, they decide to go for the joke of just what happens in prison, and Sam has no idea what it is. But the fact that it happens to Mitch off screen, and then he comes back, and you can actually hear him just go okay, fine, let me try it. You guys got a lot of growing up to do. Ridiculous. What hurts the most? It's the lack of respect. That and the other thing, but mostly the lack of respect. So it was pointed out to me. They dubbed over it. What hurts the most is the lack of respect. Oh, that and the anal rape, but mostly the lack of respect. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I like it when he says, that and the other thing.
Yeah.
See, yeah. Older me now, I'm just oh, no.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous. I love that.
Yeah, Ryan did mention that he does appreciate just how calm he is in his whole like shaming of them.
Yeah, as he's pulling his pants up, ridiculous. Like, and I think that's what makes it funny, right? Is that he's still kind of calm about the whole thing, and is telling them off like a mother that caught their kids, drawing on the walls with crayons. Right. Yeah, ridiculous.
You should know better.
You should know better. The lack of respect is what hurts the most.
Also, hour 22 minutes. I love short movies.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy to digest, especially like anymore. It just feels like I have less and less time in the evenings.
Yeah.
So having something that I can like easily digest. I don't know like where and who decided that like standardizing like the 2 to 3 hour movie is like normal, and it's just like, no, it's really not. Like that's reserved for things like Amadeus. Like I'm good with that movie being a couple hours long. You know why? I watched it once and was like, that's a great film, and I'm never gonna return to it again.
Sure. Now your standard superhero movie, like I understand the Batman is like 2 hours 50.
Oh, no thanks. No thanks. I don't know when I'm ever gonna get to the Batman. I know this is about dirty work, but don't even get me going on the Batman. I think I'm the only one in the world that's just like, I don't see what the big deal is.
Did you see it?
Cool. No, I haven't seen it yet. My husband's like, I know you don't want to see it. I'm like, no. I'm indifferent. I don't hate it. Good for everybody who thinks it's fantastic.
Sure.
Cool. Good for you. Pat yourself on the back for your 3-hour Batman movie. I love Batman. He's like my favorite superhero, but yeah, I don't get the hype. I'm like, cool. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'll see it when I have 3 hours.
Yeah. And I never do.
No. Anything that's like any movie that starts pressing, more than 2 hours into a film, I'm like, oh man, I have to like plan my whole day around that. I make sure I'm hydrated, but like not too hydrated because I don't need to be getting up to go to the bathroom every, 15 minutes.
Yes.
It's almost like you got to stretch before you go into something like that. I don't know. It's a little too much. It's too much.
So we had our, ladies and gentlemen, we are in our late 30s. And this is the kind of thing that we do now when it comes to movies. Our time, it used to be that we could just see movies and it was no problem. And it didn't matter the caliber of movie. Like, do I really, really want to see this? Or do I just want to see this? Like, I just would see movies and it would be a thing.
Yeah.
Now, we have to be very in tune with our body signals.
Yes. I have to plan like months in advance to go see a movie. Sure. I remember being like 18 and seeing like maybe like 19, seeing everything in the theater that was available that summer. Everything. I didn't even care if I liked it. Like, I'm going to go see that. That's a thing that's out. I have the time. What am I doing? I have a job and that's pretty much it. And I can, plan everything around my job. And, like now it's like, okay, we got to plan for a babysitter and I got to make sure, is this something we really want to see? Because it's not just the cost of the movie tickets, it's the cost of the babysitter. And then if we're going to get a babysitter, we might as well eat out as well and make a thing of it. So now it's planning, lunch or dinner or whatever. So we have to really want to see something because it gets really expensive really quick. And then you don't want to do it too often because then you feel bad as a parent. I don't spend enough time with my kids. And then you're caught in that like feeling guilty for taking care of yourself. It's terrible. It's ridiculous.
Right. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, okay. So, given the very, very small aspect of this movie, I'm still going to run with it. Mitch and Kathy. Where does this relationship, like... I was going to say, when do they fall in love? Because that's what I ask. I'm going to let you respond to that because, I
don't think they do. I think maybe they have a fling, go out on a couple dates and realize that she's going to be like, I'm an accountant. Like, this isn't going to work out. She seems to kind of have her life together, and Mitch very much does not. And especially, to your point, what was motivating him was trying to get his dad up on the list for the heart transplant. Now what's his motivation, right? I mean, he might enjoy the revenge for hire. He's running a business. Seems like he enjoys that much better than delivering pizzas or what have you, what he was doing before. But okay, so just enough to pay the bills, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think that relationship's going to work out. It doesn't seem like there was a lot of good vibes between the two of them. Not good vibes. That connection between the two of them. At least, I mean, she was just kind of around to push the plot or forward. Yeah. So there wasn't really any type of emotional connection there anyway. But so maybe they go on a few dates and then realize it's not going to work out. But I like to think that they break off at least in a respectable way, unlike his relationship at the beginning of the film where she's like chucking his stuff out the window along with the popcorn machine, so
I don't understand how that popcorn machine survived the fall to be completely intact in the next scene.
Right? I want to know how she got it up and over the rail.
Oh, it's a good point.
It's a giant popcorn machine. And I mean, I get, again, every one of these scenes is a lead up to a Norm joke, and the lead up for that one was, hey, where's all my stuff? And she's just like, I bought everything, Mitch. You don't have any stuff. And then he thinks to himself, well, wait a second, I bought the popcorn machine, and that's when you see that, go over the rails. But I mean, I would have kept the popcorn machine and be like, here's $50. I'm keeping the popcorn machine. I don't want to exert the energy to flip it over the balcony. Or no, I don't know. Maybe I am that pissed off that I, get superhuman powers and, chuck a popcorn machine over the balcony. But yeah, and then the next scene he's eating out of it. And I'm like, how did all the glass not break out and shatter into the popcorn, that was already in there?
Artistic license, we'll say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a really good popcorn machine.
Oh,
very high quality. Very high quality.
Well, if he's only spending his money on it, it better be the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you're right. See, for me, it's just like they were trying to edge up to this whole oh, she doesn't like him for this, that, and the other, and then he does this thing, and oh, okay, so But I'm just like, yeah, it's just nudging a plot along. It's not really there. She's a fine actress. I liked her in Monk.
She was one of the better actresses in the whole thing. Everybody else was a comedian, just doing jokes, you know.
Exactly.
Although I do appreciate Chevy Chase's. That's just his delivery. I feel like most of his stuff is that way, but yeah, everybody else is they're just comedians, so they're just doing their thing.
Oh yeah, and then one of the things I do appreciate is that it isn't just now we give Norm an opportunity to do his thing. Other people were given some good writing as well.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Their dad and Chevy Chase is just like a doc, if that stethoscope is as cold as it was yesterday, I'm going to shove it right up your ass. Vital signs normal.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how he tries to explain his broken arm. He's just like, I either slept on it funny or it broke when the bookie threw me out of the moving car.
You know what I don't understand? When you owe somebody money and they blow off your toe, you still owe the money.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem fair to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I agree with you about that, and also I agree that this is a non-relationship. This is getting to know a person, and then kind of maybe they didn't even go on a date together. So yeah, you're right. They went on dates. It was just oh, this is a nice thing that brought us together, and then even the end of the movie, and that's what's really great. Well, we got Pops a new heart, Sam and I got new jobs, and I got the girl. And I'm like, that has to be by design, where it's just yeah, I don't know where this is going either, but somehow we got jobs, and somehow.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I think it's that, kind of typical, tying everything up. All it was missing was the kiss at the end, right? That, got the girl and give her a kiss. They didn't even bother with that. They're just nah, just say that I got the girl. That's good enough.
I'm wondering if that was filmed and didn't make it, or if it's just they didn't even bother. And and it's fine. I do not.
I actually think it's better without it. I think if they would have added it at the end, they would have had to. They'd have to do it in a very not tongue in cheek, but you know what I mean. Yeah, we're making fun of ourselves here. We get that this is kind of the typical way that you would end a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Because I would argue this is not a romantic comedy. It's just straight up a comedy.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, I think if they were to add that in, it probably would have. I don't know. I don't think it would have landed right. I like it better. That's just well, and everything's great. Okay, bye.
And exactly that. I mean, yeah, because the actual line is just like, he paid off the bookies, but they killed him anyways.
Yeah. So it's like, did he do the transplant first?
Yeah.
Okay, is that the he did the transplant and then the bookies just decided to kill him?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta make sure we get that in.
I love that this is more interesting to us than the romantic relationship. It's just
well, because there's really nothing there, you know?
No.
Yeah.
No, just a little, like checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give him a love interest. And I'm thinking about that too. Like if we were to go back to like Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore, I keep thinking about that. They are there, but I'm wondering if they have more substance.
In some ways they do. And I think that's because they're a little bit more prevalent in the movie.
I think so.
Like where Happy Gilmore, I can't remember the actress's name, but she is part of the whole golf culture. She is there, right? It's not just like, I'm an accountant. Hi, I'm here to drive the plot along when it's necessary. But other than that, you ain't gonna see me, So whereas in Happy Gilmore, she's there. Sometimes she's there in the background. Sometimes she's there to support or to drive things along. So she's not just kind of this like, we need a female. Throw somebody in there. Yeah, I guess make her a love interest.
Sure.
But that could be anybody. That could have been like his aunt that is ashamed of him for not doing this, that, or the other, or. It could have been just a non-love interest. Could just be a friend from high school, or something like that. So.
Oh, totally. I'm actually thinking about. Oh shoot, I forgot. Damn it! It'll come to me in the middle of your sentence later on.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Hooray! Well, like in Happy Gilmore, they have the grandma.
They have the grandma.
And then he has Chubbs, who is like his mentor, decides to take him under his wing, and so there is no mentor. There's just like, you can't replace the sweet grandma with the angry dad.
Yeah, although he's great.
He has his moments.
He just looks red and angry all the time.
All the damn time. It doesn't help that he's played by the same actor who was in While You Were Sleeping as the kindly, godfather to.
Oh, was he
Sandra.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, I'm like, oh my god, Saul, what are you doing right now? Why are you Pops now?
Yeah, Pops. Does he even have a name? It's just Pops.
He does, but I was like, it's in the background.
They call him by his last name sometimes, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, his lines, oh, that's when you decided to work as a boxer? No, that's when I got into stag films.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or the locket. He's like, here, take a look at this. And he hands Norm the locket. And you expect to see like a picture of like a, maybe a nice picture of his mom or something. And he opens it, it's like, that's a picture of you doing my mom, Just like, who would carry that around on their neck?
Or the photo album. It's just like, that's you and my mom again. Oh.
No, that's Sam's mom. Yeah.
That's Sam's mom. Then he just kind of looks a little.
Yeah.
So gross.
You were cheating on Mom? No, she was there. Who do you think was taking the pictures? Love it.
Oh my god. Okay, so this episode is ridiculous, but not in that way. So I'm not looking down on our episode. I'm laughing my ass off right now.
Nice.
I agree with you. Nothing really happens. They go their separate ways, and just honestly, I think she would be leaving him, but like,
yeah.
And he just like understands, because again, I don't think he's even that much. He likes her. That's it. That's all we got. The end.
He likes her. We don't know how much he likes her. We just know that when Sam was asking him, "Do you like her?" and no. I love that.
Oh, and I would be. I debated back and forth about whether I wanted to share this on air, but even just recently, Ryan and I. So there's a scene where they're sabotaging the theater owner, and instead of playing Men in Black, they play Men in Black who have sex with each other.
Who have sex with each other, yeah.
And I would just do that. You're just like, oh my god. I would say that to Ryan. Oh my god, there's an alien. You're right. We better have sex with each other.
Yeah. Note to self: Sam looked.
No, I didn't. I was just making sure that the
I love that it was like so terrible that people felt the need to flee and run from the theater. Like, I'm like, is it really that bad? I mean, I'd walk out and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
but I wouldn't, like, run. Like,
I know.
like somebody was attacking me type of a run, you know?
No, the scene later where they're running out because of the skunks, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
The skunks, there's an actual threat, but just, alien gay porn, I wouldn't run that fast.
No.
And shove everybody.
I'd be like, oh, this is the wrong movie.
Yeah.
Well, hang on, let me watch a little bit longer just to make sure it's the wrong movie.
Oh my god, that alien looks like a hot guy. We better have sex with it.
We better have sex with it, yeah. The dialogue is just genius.
And it happened when I was younger, and it happened again. I'm like, holy fuck, is that Tim Meadows, the voice? I don't know.
Oh. Did you ever look for a credit?
There were no
small.
credits.
Yeah.
But I looked, I listened a couple of times. I'm like, nah, I think it's just my imagination. But it's not a stretch.
No. They would have needed a voiceover. Yeah, hey, just get your friend Timmy Meadows. You know?
So cool. Oh man, this was so much damn fun.
Heck yeah.
And I'll say once again, it's fun to watch this movie with a person, but just it was more fun talking about it than watching it.
Yeah. It definitely, if you're going to watch it with somebody else. Maybe have a drink. Maybe have 2 drinks.
Mm-hmm. And if you enjoy it and they don't, be ready to explain yourself.
Yeah, be ready. Yeah. Just like Norm would.
Yeah. Norm, so made this movie, right? And so a fly was in my car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I lied. I did 2 impressions. Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. Any other quotes you want to do?
No, I think we got all the good ones in.
I think so. And if we didn't, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you have any thoughts about Dirty Work, if you want us to explain ourselves, we just did. But if you want to chime in, you can always catch us on social media. The podcast is on Twitter and Instagram at HEAMCast. That's HEAMCAST. Facebook on Happily Ever Aftermath. And for any longer thoughts, contact at HEAMCast.com. Erin, is there anywhere that people can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Rinbar. I just started getting on TikTok, but I don't know if you're welcome to go find me on TikTok. It is hilarious there sometimes. People have way too much time on their hands, but
my version of that is I wait for whomever is on TikTok to push it into Twitter, and then I watch it on Twitter.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
I do that with Reddit too, so I'm just like, hey, I'm not experiencing the full situation, but I'm getting what I need.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks again for talking about this movie with me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Alrighty. So until next time, may your aftermath be happy. That's it.